Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura. We're working on this other frost giant today. It's from Reaper Miniatures. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so it was a little bit delayed. But got my colors mixed up and we're going to work on the fur. Don't actually remember for sure exactly what colors I used on the other frost giant, but I know these are pretty similar. I have already redone the dark leather on this guy. And the hair, pretty much. And the skin too, also. And then I also quickly redid the base because this one does not have a sculpted on base, and unlike the other one, that one was sculpted. An integral base is what it's called. But yeah, the flocking, snow flocking, or basing, whatever you typically call it, kind of seems to go by many names. But it was falling off and crumbling, and I don't know if that's typical. But I do know that I probably didn't seal it because I didn't really know much about what I was doing. I was in the very beginnings of being like, hey, let's actually do something with the base instead of just leaving it. At the moment, I'm just going to assume it's because I didn't seal it, as far as why it was just crumbling and falling apart. And also probably didn't use the right glue. I don't remember when I actually got the basing glue from, what is it, Warworld Scenics. So I had to kind of did a quick redo of the base just to have something for somewhat done. I'll probably, oh, and I did use also flexible modeling paste to kind of be able to have some clumps and stuff, some irregularities. I might go back and do some more, kind of make it a bit more of like some actual mounds, because it still kind of, it still looks a little flat to me. You can kind of see it. I can't remember if I had painted the fur on the other frost giant on the stream. I am trying to do pretty similar to that. So, I mean, if you've looked at, if you're on my Instagram or Facebook, you would have seen the pictures and know what I'm talking about. But it's going to be kind of like a bluish ivory look to it. So I'm starting off with a with blue liner. And then I've got some mixtures of blue liner and I think it's frost blue. Yeah. Which, if you really like a good muted blue or a bluish gray, that is what you get when you mix the two. There's this part right here that I know. I think I got it good enough. You're not really gonna be able to see it, so not terribly important. Let's see, we got some fur down on here on the feet. I should say on the ankles. I like the way that the fur did turn out on the other frost giant. I feel like it helped to kind of break up all the brown and silver. I plan to eventually basically do the same thing to the metallics, uh, like what I did on the other Frost Giant. So I'll do some shaded metallics. I'll do pretty much silver on all of these things, but then these, again, we've got these very intricate engravings that I'll do gold. Like I did on the other one. Maybe I'll do these bands in gold as well. We'll see. I unfortunately have gotten out of the habit of writing down everything that all the paints that I end up using for each thing, each part of a mini. So don't remember what I used for like basically be like the rope or skull that I did. Well, wait. I did have the bone written down. So never mind. I do have that written down. So I'll for sure get these horns painted in that same color scheme. There's really not much to them, so I mean, it's not gonna really be anything all that fantastic. There is enough actual texture on this fur, the way it's sculpted. You could totally dry brush it. Exactly what dry brushing is made for is just quickly highlighting extremely textured surfaces. I got my weekly painting video done the other day. Got the dark leather all finished and painted up on there, and kind of touched up some of the other leather that I'd done last week. I decided this week, after having such a hard time last week of being able to see what I was doing, that it was time to get out the Optivisor. Although I don't have the face cam on, so no one saw it. I just told everyone. It helps to just not have the face cam on for the weekly videos, just so that I can basically have things different enough from my Twitch streams so that I can remember to focus more on like explaining things as I do them, or focusing on thinking about that. Whereas with Twitch, I'm just sort of talking. If there's people who decide to come out of lurk mode, I'll chat with them as well. I try to look at the chat every now and then. So I said that I could totally dry brush this, but I really like painting it this way. It's very soothing, I think. And I'm able to pull out things a little bit with more control. Can do these brush strokes so that it'll kind of give that fur texture. Whereas dry brushing is just gonna literally just hit whatever tops of the sculpted texture. Hi there. Is it Brugler? Brugler Gaming? Thanks. I'm assuming by your name you play games. Is it like video games or like tabletop variety? Nice. Do you have any games you've been playing lately? I have a D&D group that we just finished up, Curse of Strahd campaign. And this weekend I'm about to I'm gonna join a new campaign using the current playtest rules for Draw Steel. I don't know if you are familiar with that one because that's still in production. I believe that would be, I think that'd be the right term. Yeah, I've got a friend who's on the Patreon for that, the Draw Steel / Matt Colville. So he gets, and he'll be the one running it. My friend, that is. Magic Arena Online. Okay. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not into too many of the online games. I'm the type of person that I could probably be really good at just and have been just good at just about any game, but I still get really worried with the online stuff of people getting upset if I'm not. Is the paladin for like a character you're gonna play or just for painting for fun? Nice. Yeah, that can be hard. We were kind of running into that with our Curse of Strahd group. We actually, my husband's the one who was DMing, and he actually kind of worked things out to basically fast forward a bunch. And then just get to the end so we could at least have a finale. I mean, I know there's at least one of the problems is one of the members is my friend who's gonna run our Draw Steel campaign is just they're now that they're have been kind of really full into playtesting the Draw Steel and fully invested in it. Like they just aren't really interested in playing D&D, and they never really like were hugely invested in D&D. But it was nice to at least say we finished it. I think my husband's just also been losing or lacking excitement about DMing. He kind of initially started off DMing just because we needed a DM. A bunch of us were interested in trying out D&D. I've been trying my hand at DMing. I've done several one-shot, have run several one-shots now, so I'm gonna try and get some people together, a different group. I think I missed something. Ah, you've tried it before. Thanks. This is a Reaper Frost Giant. Quite a bit smaller than the WizKids one, but I feel like the WizKids Giant is maybe a bit oversized. Ah, I have never gotten into the Warhammer stuff, but I have seen a lot of the painted miniatures. So it does seem like there are a lot of miniature painters that paint Warhammer stuffs. I mainly stick to the stuff that, like, I could use in a campaign. So D&D stuff. Although I would be interested, I do have some interest in trying out like someone who did sort of like a superhero RPG rule set. And I'm pretty sure there's like a Star Trek tabletop RPG. So I could totally get into doing some stuff for those. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Those are all really big franchises at this point. My husband would be the one who would really love, like, probably really love the Star Wars stuff. I would be more into Star Trek. Oh, that's one of their dragons, right? I just got Bone 6 like months or two ago. Nice. Yeah, it can take some work. Kind of depends too on how you like to use, how you usually paint. Like if you like working with really thin paint versus kind of thicker paint. Or if you work with, I know some people just exclusively work with speed paints pretty much. Kind of see there. Just get little dabs in there since you can kind of see that. I think I did some of the leather work on the other Frost Giant on a previous week, so might be able to go back to a previous video. It'd be on my YouTube though. I only my VODs only last a week, so you'd probably have to go to my YouTube to try and look. Is it like a specific color of, like you just have a hard time picking out a color? it's not on my YouTube, I do know I did a post on my Patreon. I'm hoping to be able to get the PDF on that same topic actually written up this week. Yeah, that can be some of the hardest, is translating what's in your head and onto the actual mini. I often usually find like a picture on Google that matches pretty well with what I want or what I'm gonna try and go for. And then if I'm having problems thinking of paints to start with, I'll use Reaper. On their website they have what's called like Power Palette, I think is what it's called. You have to go to like the paints menu. And then if you have the picture downloaded on your device, you can just upload the picture and you can like pick out what pixels I wouldn't necessarily use that for picking out every single color that you're going to use. But I think if you just look in the picture where like you're a middle tone color and then where like there's seems to be the highest highlight and then like the darkest shadow, and see what is suggested, that can give like a good start, I think, at least for me. I don't always have the colors, but I usually have something similar. Yeah, you're welcome. Kind of one of those tools that they have on the website that I probably feel like probably isn't necessarily well known about. That or people maybe just don't know what to use it for. But that's how I use it at sometimes. And you also got to keep in mind too, whatever color you start with is gonna, like how light or dark it is gonna affect the outcome. unless you want to do tons and tons of layers to try and undo that. Like for instance, I start out really dark, and so the colors that are going on here are gonna be just slightly darker because I do work with thinner paint. But I also do I do layering and stuff. So I am still able to get these lighter colors. I mean, you can see my palette here, down here. You see where there's more of that, just that first lighter color, that's this, on top of this. This is the color I've been using right now with doing the most recent highlights. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. I like starting with a darker color because I do sometimes have problems getting my shadows dark enough. So I just start with the darkest shadow, and I don't mind having to do a little extra work if I'm gonna plan on bringing things up a lot brighter or not. Okay. Yeah, so I am gonna take these up even further, but for now I'm gonna go ahead and stop. For today's stream, I usually just go for about an hour. I have a toddler, so too much longer beyond now, and we'll be getting into the realm of him randomly waking up. So that's, we got a good start on the fur today. I do like how that looks. It's a little bit of a different fur. Definitely a little bit more fantasy-esque. And then Monday, same time, I'll be back with working on the Hellhounds. I've gotten them mostly, the fiery effects mostly done on, so I think I just have one or two more to finish that on. But then we've got all these little details here still to do, like teeth, claws, and the basing. So that'll probably be Monday, working on some little finishing touches on these guys. So yeah, that was fun. I've definitely like how the glow has turned out on these guys. It's definitely a lot better than what I used to do. So definitely think I have kind of figured out at least how I do it and stuff. But yeah, which I did on Mondays. Yeah, Monday stream. So I believe that VOD is still up. So if that is something you're also interested in, there's also that. Yeah, otherwise that's it for today. And I hope you have a good weekend for everyone who's lurking. And yeah, happy painting. Enjoy your games, Brugler, or whatever it is you're up to. And have a good weekend. Bye.